Hey everyone, Tony and Joan back with another Batwoman trailer. I know, Joan's already fallen asleep. I wanted to talk a little bit more about Batwoman, mainly because, I got tons of hits from the last two times I talked about it, so why not? But also too that I want to go into a little more depth about the concept and why I don't think it really works. In the comics, they probably just created this character because they were like, well, we want to expand the Batman universe, and we'll just do Batwoman. We did Batman, let's do Batwoman. We did Batgirl, let's I don't know, mature it up a little bit. The logical thing would have been to transition Batgirl or a Batgirl to Batwoman. They didn't do that. They wanted to get all woke and, we're going to do, I believe she's a lesbian superhero, which, part of the problem is, lesbian doesn't really have anything to do with being a superhero. That's just, if she's, Jewish, does that matter? No. If she's, I don't know, there's a million different traits you could put in that have nothing to do with being a superhero. And the whole concept of being a superhero is already, one that's kind of stretched the limits of credibility, let's say. Credulity, that's the word. Anyhow, Batwoman, the TV show, it just feels like, we can't do Batman for some reason, another not Batman show. And we can't even have Batman in it. So it's like they put her in Batman's cave, which to me is dumb, because it already makes a character that feels like an interloper a total interloper. And as a screenwriter, you come up with the pragmatic issues of the character. And to me, it's not very pragmatic for this vigilante that's wanted by the cops, that was created under very unusual circumstances, to be replaced by someone who's essentially not nearly as dedicated. No matter what you do, Batwoman's not going to be Batman. So I hear the new trailer isn't as cringy, but let's watch it. Joan, calm down. I know you're very excited.
3 years ago, when Batman mysteriously disappeared, it defied...
See, already you've got this very weak premise. Batman mysteriously disappeared. That's it? Batman is already a weird thing in the world. Like, that he disappeared, so what? Gotham existed before then. It will presumably continue to exist after him. This idea like, well, he disappeared, so now the whole world's coming unglued. No, that doesn't really make sense.
The city. Some see fear, others hope. I see the freedom to be myself, to play by my own.
The freedom to be myself. You could do that anywhere. You don't have to do it in Gotham.
Rules.
How are your rules different? You're just some rando who came into the Batcave. Oh, wait. You're Bruce Wayne's cousin. I forgot. Sorry.
I spent 15 years searching for a place I fit. And then I finally found it.
Batwoman. New series Sunday, October 6th. And stream free next day. Only on the CW app.
Not really buying it. I think there's way more.
Crows represent order, security, safety.
Batman gave up on us. The Bat's not coming back.
See, already it's like you've got a city that isn't functioning properly. Cities don't depend upon superheroes, especially one like Batman. He's a normal guy. He wasn't officially elected. He's just a vigilante. Now, you could argue that Superman has so many superpowers that crime would actually spike if he disappeared. But you would also have to have some kind of premise that the city is constantly under attack, and only Superman keeps cleaning out, you know, the guys. And that's what you're doing here, and it just doesn't work. Batman's a normal guy. He's the world's greatest detective. He takes on the big guys. But, you know, when they have Batman, like, stop a purse snatcher, it's lame. It's a waste of his skills, and let's be real. Cops can stop purse snatchers.
Something's up. Eyes everywhere.
Hello, said Alice. Shall we believe the crows will protect us?
Agent Morgan, copy.
Female Joker's just not cool. And this idea that these criminals keep coming back to Gotham and doing these outlandish things, you know, the Joker, again, is an exception, not the rule. He's a very showy villain, but that's not very smart to be a showy criminal. You know, everyone knows this. You've got guys like the Riddler and the Penguin. They're not nearly as showy, right? They do things under the radar. When Batman confronts them, then yeah, they get the whole shtick, but they're trying to get away with crimes. I mean, that's the object of being a criminal, to get away with stuff and rob stuff, not to just cause mayhem and murder. But the Joker's the exception to that. So if you're going to create more Jokers, you make them less special. You're going to create more Bat people, you make Batman less special.
Do you copy?
Sophie's missing. I thought you should know.
Hey, Dad,
We're gonna find her.
then let me help.
Bad idea. Where'd you get this? You're gonna have to stay out of it.
Is there something you'd like to report to your squad?
You know, it's a perfectly functional love story, whatever. Gives her a reason to do this, but fighting's good. I mean, the fighting's good.
Curious, sir? Curious, sir. What do you want? I need you to send your father a message.
You're all I have left, Kate. And I don't want to lose you too. Wayne Security. You owe my boss a new door.
Your boss is my cousin.
You don't want to bring it out. You were seriously not supposed to know what's down there.
So I have to sing with the rules?
Yeah, it's, you know, she's like the only person who does things. I mean, that's the only way you can kind of make the character work. These guys got all the money of Wayne Enterprises. They've got all these guys with guns, and, you know, it just doesn't even feel right. Everything revolves around this character. It makes the world very small. We need a functional Gotham for this to work. And if it's all around Batman, it's all around Batwoman, it doesn't work, in my view. So. This really is just like all the trailers I've seen, all mashed in together as one.
I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman.
Brutal, brutal. That's from the other one. Ugh, the music. Jesus.
You're a female Bruce Wayne.
Awesome. Hilarious. Handsome.
She's not a female Bruce Wayne.
I think I'm him. I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
Ugh. Dare to defy. Terrible idea, the wig. Look, if you want to fight crime in the city of Gotham, there'd be a million ways to do it. So go do that. Don't, you know, horn in on Batman's deal. Batman as a character really is a guy who's working through his survivor's guilt. So replacing him, you're not really doing that. You're not working through his survivor's guilt by taking his place. If you want to stop crime in Gotham, there are other ways to do it other than put on a crazy costume and beat people up. You know, if you have the Wayne Foundation money, you could use your money to create jobs and less despair. The problem with all heroes is always the villains. And although in this case the hero's very lame. But if you don't have good villains, you know, if Batwoman was going up against the Batman villains, that would give you something, because it would be like, oh wow, here's someone going up against these really practiced veteran villains who are running amok without Batman around, and you know, that would be something. It would also be something if Batman passed the torch, which I still wouldn't watch the show, but that would be a better, from, you know, a pragmatic standpoint, like, oh, I'm sick, here, you have to protect Gotham while I'm away fighting Ra's al Ghul out in Asia or whatever. So you know, this is just posturing is what it is, and they're just trying to squeeze more money out of the Batman trademark and the other trademarks they had. And you know, you can only make so many of these. The original ones were crafted and people followed them and loved them, and they were a phenomenon. These are just a shadow of that. It's very much what happened in the world of comics. You know, when things would get popular in one comic, they would do spin-offs, they would try to, you know, expand the universe, and sometimes that worked, and a lot of times it just didn't, because that's just the nature of creating stuff. You create 10 things and one of them's a hit, and the rest is just, you know, I mean, there's tons of comics like that. Batman and the Outsiders. You ever read that comic? I mean, I'm sure they'll drudge that up eventually. You know, it'll be Batman and the Outsiders without Batman. So it'll be another not Batman show. You know, I don't know why they can't put Batman in the show. I don't know why they just can't make a Batman show. Obviously, you know, it probably comes down to the lawyers or studio heads at Warner and saying, oh, no, we can make more money this way. Okay, I get that. But this is just, I think you're wasting your money here. You're wasting your time. You're trying to be woke. You're trying to make this trademark work. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's just going to be another embarrassment. You know, I think if you had put Batman in it, at least in the first episode, maybe he gets horribly injured. You know, or has to go away, and, you know, he passes the torch. That at least would have given it some amount of credibility. You could say, oh, I'll check it out if Batman passes the torch. This, to me, is just going to be, you know, they'll be lucky if they get through the whole season without canceling the show. All right, that's it.